some may think, and forgive me, some may think this is all either tedious in terms of what we're doing now or irrelevant, but fact is that some people are voting for the first time this year.
Absolutely,
right?
And there are very many.
Yes, and people would need to know why and how to conduct themselves. And it occurs to me there's not much difference in that process with what it was in 2007.
No.
Not too big a difference.
No.
Which then brings to the question, this is the first election, and these are some of the harder questions. I want you start with an easy one. It's the first election we've had since the chaos of 07, and a lot of people have put the blame on the Electoral Commission as it was commissioned then. And they say the reason why we got so tense, and part of the reason why we erupted into violence was because what was it then? Was it the IEC?
ECK.
ECK. The ECK then was incompetent, or else it was leaning to one side or the other, or it didn't do its job very well. Now you people are on the spot. Do you feel that you're ready? Do you get nervous sometimes when you figure how much attention there is on you?
Of course, there's very difficult times. I won't say that it has been smooth all the way. It's been difficult. We haven't had time. We've had to compile a register of 12.4 million in 4 months. When we talk to people, international experts, they said, you know, you cannot do this. It's impossible to do it.
The numbers.
In any country, it takes not less than 8 months to produce a register. In essence, we've produced a register in 2 months. And of course, the first thing was the challenges. You saw, and we didn't hide about it. The first time the register came out, some names were missing.
Yes.
When we gave the CD the other day, today, in fact, one of the media houses told me that I'm still missing. And I said, don't worry.
And incidentally, mine actually had, and this is a true story, mine had a problem. Because I remember you were checking via SMS. So it said that it had a problem.
Yeah.
I went to the polling station, and what they had gotten wrong was my ID number. And they assured me that it will be fixed, please sign against this. Was I being perhaps a bit naive to sign it?
No.
That I'll go there tomorrow and find that problem is still there?
I can assure you tomorrow, anybody who has our voters card, IEC voters card, first of all, we have a verification process.
Okay.
So just in case, and I'm saying this, there'll be very few incidences. But when you're compiling data for 12.4 million, you're bound.
Okay.
There's human error.
Yes.
So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's all perfect. It may not. You actually may go there and find perhaps that your name is, your ID number is not correct. But that, we say, is human error. So what do? We have a gadget to verify that card. The voter's card you carry, whether electronic or manual, has security features. So those security features are known to all our presiding officers. So if, for instance, there's a mistake or there's an error, or you're missing, the first thing we do is to take your ID, your voter's card, and it is verified by the presiding officer, looks out for the security features, and then we ensure that indeed you're a registered voter in that polling station, and we have mechanisms.
There's nothing. The reason why I want to go to where I'm going now is it's important for us to understand the ballot paper. And part of the reason for that is, like you said, this is not, I don't say it's not a normal election, but it's not the ordinary sort of elections where we have presidents or other presidential candidates or parliamentary candidates or civic candidates. In this case, we're voting for an issue. And I know you brought along this, which is fairly new to me.
Yeah.
Take me through it fairly quickly before you go into the break. What is it? Is this what it looks like, first of all?
Yes. This is the sample ballot paper.
Okay.
And you will see that so that we don't have problems, we've put a serial number to each ballot paper. So we know where each ballot in this country is, because we are guided by this. It has a question. The question is in both English and Kiswahili. Do you approve the proposed new constitution? Je, unaikubali katiba mpya inayopendekezwa? And the space to put your mark is, if you agree, you put your mark in here. Please make sure your mark goes into this space, or if you're saying no, your mark goes into this space. Make sure that the mark does not go to both boxes, because it will not be valid.
Voting 101.
Yeah?
Go on.
So make sure your vote stays inside the box of your preferred choice. Okay?
And you have instructions here anyway.
You have instructions, but many people, you know, we don't like to read a lot. So we like to always demonstrate everything. If, for instance, you write your name here, that vote will be rejected. Because of secrecy of the vote, we don't want to know how people voted. If you sign here or here, then that vote will not be
And
counted.
people have done so in the
If
past.
you thumbprint as a sign, it will not be voted. So please do not sign, do not write your name, do not initial, do not thumbprint. Put a mark. When I say a mark, it says use any mark. It could be an X, it could be a tick, it could be a small dash, it could be a bold full stop, but make sure it is only one mark.
So you can't do both.
If you put 2 marks, it will be rejected.
Okay.
Because you don't know who, it's not clear who you're
Sorry,
voting
actually,
for.
anything else that we need to understand about this?
I think that's it. And after people vote, they must fold their ballot paper twice. Fold the first time and the second time.
Okay.
Why do we fold the second time? If you fold only once and it drops into the box,
It's easy to
there's
see.
a likelihood for it to
Yeah.
open and secrecy of the vote is lost.
Okay.
So we fold the ballot paper twice.
Here's another fear. Now that you have that out of the way, we know how we're supposed to vote. The other fear is, and there have been polls carried out, and some people say it's going very strongly one way, some people say it's going very strongly another way. What if it's close? This is not necessarily IIEC legally, because legally for you, it's what, 50% and more.
Yeah.
In fact, well,
More
more
than
than 50%, let's just be clear on that. More than 50%, but in a situation where it's a 50 to 49, or rather 51 to 49, some people may say since it's so close, it's illegitimate. Is that fear present? Because some people will say again, and sorry to go on for so long, that the problem with 2007 wasn't so much that there was rigging, because there's always been rigging in Kenyan elections, whether we like it or not. It's that it was such a close election that these margins were so tiny that if you proof of rigging one way or the other, then there was a problem. What if it's that close?
First, I want to say that in 2007, the situation was worse because everybody claimed they were going to win, and there were all these opinion polls that were saying that it can either go this way, the margin is small, and there was already campaigns of no, we can't afford to lose, and intolerance was very high. And it was not only the commission then, all of us, all Kenyans were intolerant. So we must all take that responsibility. This time round, I have seen a very big difference as I go around the country. People are willing to listen. People are willing to watch the other side campaign. I don't think there's been incidences of very serious violence because the tolerance levels, I think, have really grown and we've really matured in that direction. Yeah. So, and I don't think there's any Kenyans sitting down anywhere wanting for us to go back there. And what we have done as the Commission is that we have been so open in this process. We have really appealed to Kenyans to come out and vote and so on. We've really appealed. Like, for instance, yesterday, we said no more campaigns. And you've seen everybody
which is why you have to be very clear in this program, yes.
Everybody's taking it very seriously. And we are very strict and very firm in our rules and regulations. So we are not going to bend the rules tomorrow in the middle of the game. You follow the rules to the letter. If you don't do what we say, that's too bad. But we are not going to tolerate. So the other thing that we've put in place is that the tallying process was very sensitive in 2007.
And we'll come into that tallying process after the break, because it's important for us to be clear about where we went wrong then and where we'll actually have corrected it this time. So we're going into the break now, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation about exactly how the tallying process will be done. We've seen how we're voting, what lies between our vote and when you actually get the results announced. But the other thing we'll also do, we'll be joined by citizens who have taken it upon themselves to actually go and monitor the election and see that things are being run as they should. So please join us after the break as we continue on the platform.
BBC Channel 1, Kenya's watching.
For 24 years, Parents, East Africa's leading family magazine, has remained your most dependable, available and trustworthy companion. Parents Magazine. In the August issue, now on sale, Mary Moniki, confined to a wheelchair after a freak accident, set up a foundation to offer support to spinal injury patients. On sex, the physically challenged too can get sexual satisfaction. Peter Kamau goes beyond his nursing skills to save lives in poor remote areas, while Gordon Odundo makes Gertrude Gardens Children's Home a haven for the sick. Despite the challenges, Monica Wanjiru gives great love and care to her Down syndrome baby. Young, gifted musician Dan Obura has battled cancer and eats life with a big spoon. Find out his achievements. Also, learn to detect a dead-end relationship. For these and more, buy a copy of Parents Magazine or visit www.parentsafrica.com. Parents Magazine.